Hi, this is Bill. So today we will be discussing about flow variables in Flow Designer in ServiceNow. And this is one of the significant lessons that you will need to fully understand so you could maximize the capabilities and features of Flow Designer. So the data pills on which ServiceNow is calling them contains the information from the record which is stored in a table. And the structure and the form of this data pills is through a variable type, and of course, the record or the data. So as you basically utilize different applications in ServiceNow, incident as an example, a problem record, and change, which is under ITSM, you can access them inside the Flow Designer using the data pills and manage and manipulate them depending on your purpose. And you can be implementing a change request with a procurement step, and it allows you to fully integrate with third-party applications, passing the record or data from the data pill, which is in the ServiceNow platform, and integrating it with the procurement application and vice versa as an example. So to fully immerse you on how it works and what it looks like, let us go to the laboratory to give you a full example. Now let us navigate to the application navigator and let's drill down to Flow Designer. And as if you've been following along, let us go to our previous sample Flow Designer as we do a search, and let's drill down to sample action flows. And as we come here, just a quick recap that the trigger record, which is triggering the workflow or what is the event that makes the workflow kick off, is anything which has been created or updated in the incident record, which is pointed, of course, to the incident table. And as we create this trigger, it also creates this space on the right, which is the data panel. So this data panel we can open and close and collapse and expand respectively. And since we chose anything inside the incident table, which is created or updated, the platform automatically populates this data panel, which contains the variable of the flow. So you will see it is structured to have a type and the variable name. So you have the variable name and the type, and it will contain the information from the form which has been submitted. So technically speaking, the records that you are accessing here is already found in the ServiceNow database. And one of the strengths here as we uncollapse this one, and you will see that each step or each action is corresponding to a panel on the right. So if you have 4 steps or 5 steps, it will also correspond here. So as you move to the flow from top to bottom, then you can utilize the records dynamically from multiple steps, which gives you a lot of power to manage and manipulate your data depending on your use case. So one of the things that I'd like you to notice when I mention data types, so let us move to one of the actions. And let's say we are creating a change request. So let us access, so you can see you can access any table in ServiceNow. And as we drill down to a change, I think it's change underscore request. And as we pull that out from the table and let us uncollapse this fields, you will see that automatically ServiceNow already created these fields on the right. And since we are coming from top to bottom, so we have access to the records from the trigger, or we can access a record from the problem record. So as we basically open up, and let's say we would like to populate additional comments field, and as we basically drag this to the left, you can see it is not accepting the type record on this table. So the type is quite important in making sure the integrity of your steps and flow is accepted. And as you populate the fields, you can basically test if a type record or type action status is going to populate the correct field. So to be able to be familiar in these aspects, you need to experience and get your hands dirty to get yourself familiarized on how the type and variable works. So as a hint, you need to basically recognize on what is accepted, what not accepted in the following fields. So if the table field as an example, as we have provided, it shows a warning sign or an error sign that it is not allowed. And that is one way of learning it. But looking at it on the type record or type table or type true or false, that is one of your clues or signs that the field is meant for that specific variable type. And one of the key things that I'd like you to learn is the power of dot walking. And in ServiceNow, if you've been watching my foundational course, which is system administration, on how to create tables and how you could create reference tables from a parent table. So this is a good example where on the problem table, you can reference a user table. So you have two tables working together. And as we drill down, you will see that it's also referencing the user table is referencing to a reference table, which is address. And ServiceNow calls this dot walking because as you open and close the panel, as you click dots, right, you are dot walking inside the specific field. And depending on what you need, you could just be looking for the city or you're looking for the company or call center. Then you can pull this information, drag it to the left, and allows you to fully utilize the data which is needed. And one of the previous examples that we have created is send email. And in an email body, you are taking information from a record, so you can now dynamically create this email by dragging information from the left as you build this message to the corresponding receiver. And we have done great examples here already. And let us change this email address to something more specific. So let's say we are sending to the assigned to email. So you can see there is type email here, and we could now drag it to the left. And one of the things that I'd like you to notice is you have to ensure from the record entry in the form to ensure reliability of your workflow is all the information needed from the source should be populated. And if it's not, then this email will not be sent, of course, because the variable that you populated in the to field is empty. Then it will cause an error to your workflow application. And one of the things that I'd like you to learn is this data pill picker here. As you basically drill down, then you can navigate inside. As you can see that you have the source and you have the path, and you can also now dot walk and locate the necessary field or information that you would like to add in this field. And we went to the incident record earlier, then we went to assign to, and from there you can also navigate from the assign to and drilling down to the email field that you are looking for. So now there's quite a few ways of doing it. So I showed you two ways, and this is the power of data flow variables. I hope I managed to add value to you. And if you have any questions, please add it to your comments, and I'm happy to respond. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and join as a member if you haven't done so. Thank you so much.